It's that time of the month again, where we have to do our Guess the Banzuke. Let's see. Today's Thursday. I think this is due on the 24th, or actually, let me double check that. Yeah, the 24th. So I'm doing this on the 20th. I'm gonna post it probably as soon as I'm done with this, like I usually do. But hope we are all ready for the next upcoming tournament that is going to begin. Let me pull up the calendar. Second Sunday of September, so September 13th. It's gonna start a little late, later than usual, almost as late as it could be if the first day was on a Monday, but should be a good tournament. We might see Holshoryu out due to knee surgery. Don't know what else might be going on with anybody else because I haven't really checked any updates. But the only update we need right now is where we think the Banzuke is going to lie. Of course, for Yokozuna, it's going to be Onosato on top with Holshoryu below him. Then it's going to be Kirishima and Kotozakura, as well as Aonishiki returning to the rank. He will be ranked below Kotozakura. I don't remember if he's going to be on the east or the west side, is the only thing here. So, I'm going to have to double check that later. Because it kind of depends on how everyone else is ranked above them. But if there were 4, then of course, or he would be on the right side. But because there's 3, I forget if it's right or left. Let me actually just go back and check. Let's see. Kirishima was on the left side, so the east side. So, yeah, it looks like it'll be east. From here, it's pretty easy to put Atami Fuji where he belongs, still at Sekiwake. But then after that, we have a lot of people falling down and out of the Sanyaku ranks. We have a couple of guys moving up to fill these ranks. We have Fujinokawa, 8 and 7 at Maegashira 1. Everybody else above him lost, so he's going to be Sekiwake. That's the big boy rank. He's going to be skipping Komusubi like Oho did last year or earlier this year. Wakataka Kage is obviously down and out. I don't remember how far an 0 and 15 falls, especially when we know he's going to be out for a while. I'll just put him outside the Banzuke around Maegashira 12 for now. As for Koto Shoho, his might be a little tricky because he could be Komusubi, he could be Maegashira 1. We don't really know. Yoshino Fuji as well might fall only 1 or 2 ranks with that 6 and 9. It depends on if people can come up and displace them. So Yoshino Fuji could maybe only fall to Maegashira 1. We know Fujinokawa is going to be moving up over these guys. Hakuno Fuji, 9 and 6. This is where I start to ask the question, does Hakuno Fuji move up to Komusubi? I think the answer is an obvious yes. But does Daieisho leapfrog him? Do they both go to Komusubi like this? Daieisho 10 and 5 is going to be taking priority because he does have 1 more win from only half of a rank lower. So Daieisho being Maegashira 4, 10 and 5, proven track record. He's definitely getting to Komusubi. I don't think he's going to be leapfrogging Fujinokawa into Sekiwake. He's just a few ranks too far away. Plus, Fujinokawa is coming off the back of that outstanding performance. So we'll see how that falls. I think I'm pretty secure in Fujinokawa, Sekiwake, Daieisho, Komusubi. Hakuno Fuji, 9 and 6. Koto Shoho, 6 and 9. I feel like there could be some debate on whether or not Koto Shoho or Hakuno Fuji take that Komusubi slot. So I'll just write that down. Haku Koto K? Question mark. I feel like that is something that could be debated. And might be, because we've seen it in the past. We've seen it with Takayasu. He had a 6 and 9 from Sekiwake and only fell to Komusubi, so he stayed within those ranks. Let me actually go back and try to find when that happened. Takayasu 8 and 7. Takayasu 7 and 8 stayed Sekiwake. And Takayasu was out for injury. It happened recently. And by recently, I mean like within the past year. Here he is at Komusubi 7 and 8. He stayed Komusubi. Let's see, 10 and 5. Here it is, Takayasu 6 and 9 from Komusubi. And if we move this over, he stayed Komusubi despite the 6 and 9 record because, well, there wasn't really anybody below him that could replace him. This was July of last year, so around the same time. Or rather, going into July of last year. The problem there was lots of 7 and 8s and 6 and 9s, and the nearest guy was Oshoma at 10 and 5. So Takayasu realistically could not be replaced, especially also with Wakataka Kage moving up to that second Sekiwake slot. It's like, well, who is going to be there? I guessed Oshoma and Aonishiki. I was wrong. It was Oshoma and Takayasu. So Oshoma with that 10 and 5 from Maegashira 6, you could call that an over-promotion, and it certainly was because he got really smacked around that tournament. This time around, though, Hakuno Fuji is 9 and 6. He will be moving up. I don't think he'll displace Koto Shoho with the 6 and 9. Or no, that excuse me. I think he will displace Koto Shoho with the 6 and 9 because he is so close. Like Maegashira 6, 10 and 5, like that's testy. That's too far away. That's the only guy that could make it. But here we have a couple of winners moving up. I feel like Hakuno Fuji, you can keep debating it. Koto Shoho, I think moving down is the right call. Yoshino Fuji only moving down like 1.5 ranks. And then this is where, do we keep Gonoyama and Chuda no Umi here? Or do we have Takanosho bump one of them down half of a rank? Do we move Takanosho over a little bit? 6 and 9 from Maegashira 1. He's not going to fall too far. He should fall below both of these guys at 7 and 8. And then after that, just in general, with Takayasu and Koto Eiho, both 11 and 4 from Maegashira 7, you could argue that both of them will move up to Maegashira 2 and displace all of these guys even further, which I think that could be a possibility. Let's actually skip ahead a little bit here. Let's move down Ichiyamamoto a couple of ranks. Let's say Maegashira 6 for now. Let's move down Uda and Shodai. Let's keep Oshoma and Fuji Seiyun here. Koto Eiho and Takayasu. I mean, it looks like it fits, right? We even have a Hirolga, or let's keep going. Wakamoto Haru is going to move down slightly from Maegashira 8. Hirolga is going to move up, but below those guys, above these guys here. So it looks like it fits. It looks like it fits perfectly fine, but then we throw in another monkey wrench. Fuji Ryoga could also move up into these spots. I think he's going to be above Hirolga. That's why I put him on the west side. Tomizaru, Chiyoshoma are going to be moving down. We're just kind of feeling it out right now, seeing where everyone might lie. Asanoyama 9 and 6. I don't think he's going to move up that far. But a 9 and 6 for Maegashira 10. He could be Maegashira 6, Maegashira 5, something around there. You know, you never know. When we go to solve this traffic jam up here, you know, we'll figure things out. Wakanosho, 5 wins. Might survive. That's a big question mark. But looking at who is around him, we have Mitake Umi, 2 and 13. He's definitely going to fall out. Asahakuryu and Abi might stay at Maegashira 12. Nishiki Fuji is going to move up a couple of ranks. Let's put him, let's put him above Uda for now. For now. Same with Takeru Fuji. Let's put him right here next to Nishiki Fuji. Keen Bolzan. He's probably going to be somewhere in this middle section too. Probably above Uda Shodan. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Shishi has to go above Keen Bolzan, so we'll do that right there. Onokatsu going to be falling. Kazuma going to be falling. Daiseizan could get saved by the skin of his teeth, but let's take a look at the possible people who could replace Daiseizan. We saw that happen with Shishi in a similar situation where this Maegashira 17 slot opened up and he was able to survive. But, you know, seeing Asa Suiryu, Toki Hayate, and Toshino Fuji really as the only guys surviving, and then we move up Asa Koryu a little bit as well. Only guys here that might push him out. You could argue Dewan Noryu, maybe. Maybe we see Dewan Noryu bump. Oh, that's a little dark. Maybe we see Dewan Noryu bump down. We'll see. Hold on. Sorry, the family was getting loud behind me. I had to mute for a second. But, you know, with this, Daiseisan likely could move down. Dewan Noryu also likely could move up. So this might be the big question mark right here. We'll keep them here. Daiseisan and Dewan Noryu. Because 9-6 Judio 3, you look at it, should be enough. You see 6-9 from Maegashira 16. We've seen them survive before. That's a very tricky situation right there. And then, of course, there's nobody else really in the neighborhood that could replace them. Maybe Shonan no Umi, but I feel like they're not going to give it to Shonan no Umi. Toshino Fuji 11-4 from Judio 4. You got to move that guy up. Like, this is going to be a very, very tough Banzuke to call. And it all starts, how do we go about doing these top ranks? Because there's going to be a big traffic jam up here. We're going to have to displace some of these guys with the 7 and 8 records. And I think it starts with asking the question, do Takayasu and Koto Eiho go above Gonoyama and Chirano Umi? I think the answer is a resounding yes. So let's start moving these guys up. Takanosho falls an extra rank. These guys move down. Let's move over Koto Eiho and Takayasu. Now, we run into another problem. Takanosho, Maegashira 1, 6, and 9. That's a little harsh on that demotion. Going all the way down to Maegashira 4, but it's realistically the only thing that could fit unless we didn't prop up one of these guys in orange. Maybe Takanosho stays above them, but that wouldn't make sense because he's 6 and 9 while they're 7 and 8 from only one rank lower. So he has to be below them in some capacity. So I feel like this setup right here, Maegashira 3, Maegashira 4, is going to be how it falls. Fuji Ryoga, I definitely pushed him up too far, so let's scooch him down a bit. If Fuji Ryoga gets scooched down, that means Roga must also get scooched down. Ichi Yamamoto with a 6 and 9. Well, if Fuji Ryoga got scooched down, he might just have to fall here next to Takanosho with that 10 and 5. Moving up 5 ranks, makes sense. Ichi Yamamoto, does he fall below Roga? Maegashira 4, 6, and 9. Maegashira 8, 9, and 6. Mathematically, yeah, he should. Ichi Yamamoto falling 3 ranks to Maegashira 7. Roga pushing up 3 ranks to Maegashira 5. That mathematically makes the most sense. Again, I'm going to lighten these guys to like a really light red to denote that they did fall from their 7 and 8 so I don't confuse myself. So, establishing Ichi Yamamoto has to be below Roga. Is he below Asanoyama? Asanoyama, 9 and 6 from Maegashira 10. They'd both fall to about Maegashira 7. So in an ideal world, we would put them next to each other. In this world, we have Oshoma and Fuji Seiyun with 7 and 8s from the middle of the Banzuke. We could move them down at max, like a half of a rank, a full rank, just to make things fit a little bit better for these winners and losers. But can we squeeze things around in here to make it look better for these guys? I think firstly we can move down these losers just a tad, because Uda and Shodai, 5 and 10 from Maegashira 5. He didn't even fight the Sanyaku ranks, if I remember correctly. Let me see. 5 and 10. Why is access denied? Hello? Stop doing that to me. He didn't even fight the Sanyaku ranks, so he should crash. He and Shodai should crash down the Banzuke. So, I think what we can do is push these guys down. Maybe Maegashira 9, 10 for them. Asanoyama, I think he might stay below Ichiyamamoto. Ichiyamamoto 6 and 9. Let me actually pull up his scores. He did fight a couple guys in the Sanyaku. He beat Koto Shoho, but lost to 2 others. Usually they do consider strength of schedule as well when determining, you know, how they move these guys up and down. They largely fought a lot of the same people. But did they fight each other? I don't think so. They did not. So I think what we'll do here is keep Ichiyamamoto above Asanoyama. I'm going to keep Oshoma and Fujiseiyun where they are, which means we might have to snub a few of these winners. So Asanoyama is going to stay above Nishiki Fuji, Takeru Fuji, and Shishi. Nishiki Fuji is going to take priority here over Takeru Fuji. They're going to move up together. Shishi is going to stay below Takeru Fuji, but above Keen Bolzan. He has to be above Keen Bolzan. We can scooch down Keen Bolzan if we really wanted to make room for Uda and Shodai to slot in right here. And now things are looking a lot cleaner. The big question is Wakamoto Haru. I feel like what we could do, slot Wakamoto Haru here next to Shodai for now. Another question might be, does Shodai fall below Wakamoto Haru? In this situation, it's splitting hairs, but it could matter for other people questioning their own Banzuke. But that means Keen Bolzan slots in perfectly right there at Maegashira 9. Maegashira 9 off of 9 and 6 from Maegashira 14. That's a natural climb. That seems right. I'm just kind of vibing with this call right now, because, you know, I used to overanalyze things and I'd get bad scores. Then I would, you know, care a lot less and still get bad scores. So I feel like no matter what I do, I'm going to get bad scores in this game. But I feel like I do raise a couple of good questions. Like, will Wakamoto Haru be below Shodai? 6 and 9 from Maegashira 8 compared to 5 and 10 from Maegashira 10. If they were right next to each other, then Shodai definitely falls below Wakamoto Haru. But because they are 2 ranks away, that's why the question is being raised. From here, I think Wakataka Kage can fit in nicely at Maegashira 11. 0 and 15 from Sekiwake. Out for injury. He's going to be out for a while. I wonder, there should be a query about injuries, like top division injuries, how far they fall. Rank Sekiwake, 0 wins. And then we have to do it like last page. So let's see. Daisho, same thing happened last year. Fell to Maegashira 10. Asanoyama, suspended, Maegashira 10. Teruno Fuji, injury, Maegashira 10. Okino Umi, injury, Maegashira 10. Myongiryu, probably an injury, Maegashira 10 or 11. So it looks like, you know, at least within the past 12 years, Maegashira 11 seems like the perfect spot to put him. I don't see us putting him any lower, for sure. Then Asakoryu is going to have a nice promotion there. Slots in perfectly right there at Maegashira 11 above Asahakuryu and Abi. Tobizaru and Chiyoshoma definitely fall below those 2 guys. as does Wakanosho. And it's a good thing these guys kind of are here serving as an anchor for the bottom of this Banzuke. So what we could do here is Tobizaru stays above Chiyoshoma. Wakanosho fought for 5 wins, 2 losses, or 1 loss rather, and then was out for injury for the rest of the tournament, which is a damn shame. He was looking so good, undefeated those first 5 days. But unfortunately, 5 wins from Maegashira 11 puts him in danger. What kind of danger? Let's see. Let's query the Banzuke. Maegashira 11, 5 wins. Back in the day, 5 wins was a winning record. Look at this. 5-1-2-2. That guy moved up. Maegashira 6. Back in 1889. But recently, at least, we see... let's see, I believe, yes, Koto Shoho, this is an outlier. This is the COVID tournament, 2022 July. Very interesting tournament. Chiyoshoma, Maegashira 16, Maegashira 16, 13, 15. 15s or 16s, it seems to be the flex. So we could put Wakanosho in right here, Maegashira 16. The thing, too, is with the elimination of the second Sekiwake slot and the opening of the third, or the second Ozeki spot, but only one person being there, means that we will have Maegashira 17 again, and that is something to consider. That's why we were debating Dai Seizon or Dewan Noryu to slot into this Maegashira 17. Because, and again, we've seen it in the past, specifically with Shishi, if I can pull him up, good tournament for him, by the way, he had that 6 and 9, where is it? He had a bad record, but survived. Okay, it was this one, 7 and 8 from Maegashira 17 West. A 7 and 8 is a slightly more forgivable, but it was the next tournament they opened up Maegashira 18 because Daisho fell down. They only had 2 Sekiwake, only 1 Ozeki, so they needed that Maegashira 18 slot to be open, and Shishi survives by the skin of his teeth. Goes 10 and 5 from Maegashira 18. Like, damn, good for him. It is a little different because 6 and 9, you can see right next to him, Kotoeho falls down and out, despite being in a similar situation as Wakanosho here. So the thing about doing the Banzuke query on something like this is, you know, in some of the ranks, there are 2 Maegashira 18 ranks. In some of the Banzuke, there's only 1. In some of the Banzuke, you know, there's 1 Maegashira 16 rank. So we're going to get a lot of results that will say they fall to Judio. So let's try looking at Maegashira 16, 6 and 9. See the context for a lot of these results where Kakizoe, who just debuted in that in the Jonokuchi division, his dad Kakizoe survived back in 2007, only fell a half of a rank. That's notable. I'd like to see the context of that. It looks like 1, 2, 3 guys moved up from Judio, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4 guys on the move down. Even this guy, 8 and 7 from Judio, 3 moved up. And this is actually a really good example. A very similar situation here to debate if Dai Seizon survives at this Maegashira 16. Because we have in this modern Banzuke, 20 years later almost, 19 years later, we have Onokatsu, Kazuma, and Mitakayumi all obviously moving down, and a question mark on this third guy. So it is similar enough. Like Dewa Noryu, Judio 3, 9, and 6. Here it was an 8 and 7 for Kasuga Nishiki. Some of these names don't sound real. You know, we see these names and we hear these names like a million times during each tournament, so, you know, they get drilled into us. But you go back to some of these older Banzuke, Jumonji. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of a name like Jumonji in the top division, you know what I'm saying? Ama. I mean, I say Ama, we have Ura. But enough of that. This is a good example we could pull from. Let's see if there are any better ones. We have the 50s are a little too far away. Asa Koryu, much more recently, March of 2025. Let's see what happened here. Asa Koryu 6 and 9. See, like I said, we had that Maegashira 18 slot open, and at the next tournament, it was still open, so he was a lot safer, but he did only fall to 17 West, which we don't have a 17 West on this one. Let's see who moved up. We had 4 guys move up: Tamashoho, Kaio, Roga, and Tochi Taikai. Tochi Taikai had that 9 and 6. Who else fell around him? We had Mitakeumi with a 6 and 9 fall down in a similar situation to what Daiseisan is in right now. So Mitakeumi is actually the better example right now. Mitakeumi fell down. He did not survive. Shirokuma fell, and then an injury to Nishiki Fuji, Takara Fuji, 3 and 12. So we could pull from Mitakeumi here. He fell down with his 6 and 9. He did not survive. So this debate here, we can keep going. Let's see if there's anything more recent than the 50s. No, there really isn't. So I think I'm leaning Daiseisan gets demoted and Dewa Noryu moves on up. Dewa Noryu occupies that last spot. And then I messed up my Banzuke somewhere. So I have 5 spots open and only 3 people to fill them, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 40, 1, 2. Ah, Jesus. Whose names am I missing? Well, for now, let me put, This always happens. This always happens. Alright, let's start from the bottom. Asa Koryu moved up to Maegashira 11. Daiseisan Kazuma fell out. Onokatsu moved out. Mitakeumi moved out. Shishikin, Bozan, Takeru Fuji, Nishiki Fuji, they're all up here. Abi Asa Hakuryu. Waka no Sho right there. Mitakeumi fell out. Chiyoshoma Tobizaru right there. Sanoyama Fuji Ryoga, Sanoyama Fuji Ryoga, Wakamoto Haru, right there, Olga, right there, Kotoeho Takeyasu, Maegashira 2, Shodai Uda, right here, Oshoma Fuji Seiyun, right there, Daieisho moved up, Ichiyamamoto moved down, Hakuno Fuji Hirado Umi, Hakuno Fuji moved up. I am missing Hirado Umi. Okay, there's 1. Maegashira 3, 4, and 11. Ay. This always happens. Now everything is screwed up, and everything I was explaining earlier about how things fit in really nicely are out the window. I'm still missing a person, aren't I? Gonoyama, Churano Umi, Hakuno Fuji moved up. Fujinokawa moved up. Takanosho moved down. There you are. Yoshino Fuji and Oho. I'm missing Oho as well. How did I accidentally erase these guys or skip them or something? Alright, Komusubi 2 and 13. Probably going to fall around here. So, you know, I was just talking about earlier how Asa Hakuryu and Abi serve as a good anchor to where they are. This is a good situation where I can move them down to make room for these 2 guys that I forgot about. That's why you always got to be careful when doing these things. I'm not going to start over, but let's do Komusubi 2 and 13. I doubt that's happened too often. Not often at all. Let's do most recent date. Please. Koto Yuki fell to Maegashira 8. Takekaze fell to Maegashira 9. Tamakasu got a 9. Takatoriki fell to 8. That's a name you hear pretty often. Takatoriki. So I'm thinking we could slot Oho here above Uda and Shodai. Hirado, Umi, 4 and 11 from Maegashira 3. Let's take a look at that. Four and 11. Let's see. Historically, lots of 8s, lots of 9s. The median and the mean is trending towards 9. So what we can do here, you know, I said Kinbozan was going to get a good promotion here. We might have to just scooch everybody down a rank to make room for these two guys. Which I still think fits the bill. Now another question is Oho over Hira. And then we can move this question down. Shodai below Wakamoto Haru. Kinbozan, Maegashira 14, 9, and 6. If we want to be a little bit easier on Shodai, we could push Shodai above Kinbozan. They do kind of clash at this Maegashira 9, mathematically speaking. If the Banzuke was perfect math, Kinbozan would move up 3 spots to Maegashira 11. Shodai would move down to Maegashira 11. Then we can split hairs on, does the winner go over the loser? Same thing with Wakamoto Haru here. Maegashira 8 minus 3 down to 11. I feel like they would favor the winner. So I'm going to say Kinbozan stays above all of them. But you can still ask Kinbo below Shodai? Shodai below Wakamoto Haru? Like, these are legitimate questions because they all mathematically fall to the same spot. Now, if we could see if perhaps they fought each other, that might influence things. We're looking for Wakamoto Haru. Shodai defeated Wakamoto Haru, so Shodai might stay above him, and lost to Kinbozan. Whereas Kinbozan, he lost to Wakamoto Haru, but defeated Shodai. So I think in this instance, because it's a rock, paper, scissors between the three of them, I think they might just favor the winner, favor Kinbozan because he had the winning record, and then the rest of these guys, I mean, you could justify slotting them down just a tiny bit. Like Wakataka Kage, we saw lots of Maegashira 11s and 10s, but putting an injured guy down to 12, like, he's not coming back for a while. He is recovering. I don't have much information outside of that. Asakoryu, a 9 and 6 from Maegashira 16. Maegashira 12 is perfectly a reasonable and fair spot to put him in. Asahakuryu and Abi falling a rank out of Maegashira 12 with 7 and 8s. Again, perfectly reasonable. Tobizaru and Chiyoshoma. Tobizaru and Chiyoshoma with their 5 and 10s from Maegashira 9 and 10. It's a little bit harder on Tobizaru if I slot them like this. So what we might do here is keep Chiyoshoma below Tobizaru like that. Have them fall 4.5 ranks, both of them. So we can do this. Asa Suiryu there. Toki Hayate here. And Toshino Fuji here. Asa Suiryu, obviously 11 and 4 from Judio 1. You want to favor him, put him as high as you can, but not too high. Toki Hayate 10 and 5 from Judio 2. Again, perfectly reasonable spot. Dewa Noryu slips in by the skin of his teeth at the very bottom, gets leapfrogged by Toshino Fuji. Toshino Fuji does not leapfrog Toki Hayate. I think that's also reasonable. So I think this is how the Banzuke is going to fall. We do have a couple of questions on the side, like, does Hakuno Fuji or Koto Shoho get Komusubi? Do we keep Oho over Hirado Umi? And again, this, when it comes to just like a 50-50 like this, you know, you're splitting hairs between, you know, getting a couple extra points. But for something like this, these are 2 bullseyes that you either hit or you miss. If you get neither of these, it's 0 points, but if you get both of them, it's 4. For Hirada, Umi, and Oho, at least on my Banzuke, you either get 2 points or 4 points. So that's a much better, you know, that's an easier risk to take, because you're still going to get something even if you get it wrong. For a lot of other people that might be watching this and have a different lineup on their Banzukes, you know, they might have Hirada, Umi, and Oho next to each other, but like Maegashira 9 west and 10 east. So, you know, again, splitting the hairs there is worth asking those questions. And again, this triad with Kinbozan, Shodai, and Wakamoto Haru, let's say they all have to stay below Ura 100%. Kinbozan beat Shodai but lost to Wakamoto Haru. Shodai beat Wakamoto Haru. So this little triad 2, you could justify Wakamoto Haru above Shodai but below Kinbozan because Kinbozan had the winning record. You could justify Shodai above Kinbozan and Wakamoto Haru. I don't know. You could justify it any way you like. And then the one thing I kind of don't like that I did is keeping Oshoma and Fuji Seiyun in the same spot, but it works mathematically. Ichiyamamoto moving down a rank and a half for his 6 and 9. Roga moving up 3 ranks for a 9 and 6. It all works around them. Asahakuryu and Abi kind of being a soft anchor to the bottom. Like, there's no way Asa Suiryu is going to go above these 2 guys. So, figuring out who's below them, well, Tobizaru Chiyoshima and, you know, a couple others, obviously. And then that debate we had about Daiseizan or Dewan Noryu at Maegashira 17, I think we're going to see Dewan Noryu. I don't think Daiseizan will hold on, like that one example we pulled up earlier. And from here, I will submit my Guess the Banzuke in just a little bit. By the time this video is uploaded, you will be, or my locks will already be picked in. I am not going to pull from the Discords, because I haven't checked any of the sumo Discords in a long time. You have a lot less time on your hands when you have a 2-year-old. But let me check real quick in the Sumo Games chat. And not many people posting their guesses, so I don't even have homework to compare it to, so I think what we're going to do here is just keep it the way it is, not copy anybody else's homework, because it doesn't look like there is anyone else's homework to copy. And we'll just end it here. So, thank you very much for watching. The next tournament, like I mentioned earlier, will begin soon. The second Sunday of September 13th for most of the world, 12th here in the States. In other recent news, I got a job. I'm going to be an usher at Spurs games. So if you're in the neighborhood and you go to a Spurs game, look for me so I can sneak you into a section you don't belong in. Or maybe I'll take your ticket and I can autograph it for you. You tell the person in line behind you, this guy's a YouTuber, and they'll be like, yeah, that's why he's working minimum wage at a ticket booth. No, it's not minimum wage. It's $13 with benefits. Benefits being cheap tickets to Spurs games. I said, too, on my Twitch raffles, I might make Spurs tickets part of the raffle winnings. That's a joke, obviously. I haven't done any of the new hire process stuff, but they probably tell you, like, it can only go to family if it's not in your hands specifically. So, who knows? I don't know. I'm going to be working, and it should line up pretty easily with the sumo. Like, I have the option to work nights, like the scheduling. I'm going to explain this further once I actually get into the job and probably on day 0 and day 1. But from what I was told, I can basically schedule my own shifts as long as I hit the threshold of like 70% of the events during a month. So like if there's 5 concerts in a row the first week of September, well, I can work every single one of them and hit that quota, you know? So after that, I could just do the sumo worry-free, or even on the nights where I have to do sumo and an event, I'll be home before top division, so it won't be too much of a bother. The only issue is Princess is going to have to start the stream for me, and if anything goes wrong, then I'm not going to be home until Judio starts, so we'll figure that out when we get there. And maybe eventually, the other thing that just happened, like yesterday, Billy announced that they're opening up to, worldwide for videos and I hope streaming. So who knows? I might be streaming on Billy too, and I might, I don't know, have another open revenue stream there. So if I make 10 grand a month streaming sumo to the Chinese, like, sure, why not? Maybe I'll hold on to the usher job just so I can keep the free Spurs tickets. But if I'm making more money from the sumo streaming, I won't need free Spurs tickets. But for anyone else curious about life updates, Gideon did very well in his surgery. Apparently, his adenoids were blocking 75% of his nasal airway. So, like, no wonder that kid had horrible sleep apnea. The past couple of nights, he's still struggled sleeping, probably because the Tylenol wears off and then he wakes up. Probably also having bad dreams, too, remembering the surgery. But, I don't know what goes through a 2-year-old's head, so he is doing perfectly fine. He was bouncing off the walls, like, after his nap after the surgery. Like, this kid does not slow down. And, now that he is sleeping better, he wakes up at 6 again, 6 in the morning. So our days start really early, and I hate it. So he's doing perfectly fine. He is doing very well. He has recovered perfectly. The doctor said he should be good to do, rough house again today. So if he asks to be power bombed, then I'm going to go do that for him. But that is pretty much everything else that has happened in my life. That'll be it from us for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't copy my homework, but you can use my questions as a reference at the very least. And remember that the sumo tournament will begin on, let me pull that date back up again, September 12th/13th for the rest of the world. We will catch you cats later.